We are live.
We are live. How was your holiday, Jeff?
Holiday was good, quiet. It was a rainy 3-day weekend in Georgia, and just kind of sat and binged.
Sometimes those are the absolute best holidays. We had one great day on the water with a lot of friends, and then we also, it was pretty rainy down here too. But other than that, a very restful, refreshing Memorial Day for sure.
Just what the doctor ordered.
That's right. That's right.
Groundhog Day is what happens in March or February, but you and I were just talking about, it feels like it's happening all the time now.
It is so funny. I feel like we've been saying the same thing over and over and over and over, which again is the definition of Groundhog Day. And that is absolutely one of my favorite movies, by the way. I don't know why I love that movie so much. I love it. And one of the things that we wanted to talk about today was using AI for revenue impact. And, we've always talked about how marketing should and could be accountable for revenue. We've been talking about this since 2004, when Jeff and I first met. And then, our entire company is based on the idea that marketing could and should be contributing to revenue. And yet here we sit in the most empowered age we have ever had for marketers. And yet they are still not hitting the revenue. They're not even thinking about how to use AI for that.
For all these years that marketing complains about being an arts and crafts department because it's producing too much content. What are they using AI for? To produce more content.
A lot more content.
They're patting themselves on the back like, hey, we're AI savvy. Look at all this great content we're producing.
Right.
And yeah, look, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's some cool shit you can do with AI, but that's still just... That's just the tip of the iceberg.
And I will say we had a confluence of factors, especially in the markets that we serve. We serve a lot of SaaS companies, a lot of technology companies. And as AI was really coming into being, they were like cutting cost, cutting the marketing department. So it was all about efficiency and how much cost can you take out. And so when you think about that confluence of factors, it makes sense that marketing in the first blush of using AI was all about content, and it was about being more efficient and lowering cost.
But you're right, Deb, but efficiency also doesn't necessarily mean more volume either, right?
Exactly.
So, but I think it went from being efficient to, instead of...
They were just producing stuff faster.
Yeah. Let's get more.
The better was kind of left out of the equation. And I think we all know enough about AI by now. A year and a half ago, think about a year and a half ago, how new it still was to everybody. And now we've learned enough about AI to kind of like step back and say, okay, we've become more efficient. We're getting more content out the door faster. Now, how can we make that content work harder for us? How can we improve the quality and the impact of that content? And so that's like the first step toward getting AI and how you're using AI more aligned to revenue.
Yeah, and with all the things you can use AI for now, just attaching your LLM to your marketing automation, your CRM platform, so you can query it. Hey, this is our ICP. How many of our deals actually match? Where are we stuck? Which accounts do we not have enough buyers on? Like, are we starting to ask more intelligent questions? So, or because when we're looking at the headline for today's episode, right? Like 96% of marketers using AI. Yes, they are to create content, but the 19% are only getting results because the rest of them aren't even asking these basic questions.
They're just getting content out the door faster and cheaper.
Getting content out the door faster.
It's faster and cheaper, right?
That doesn't make it better. What impact does that have on pipeline? What impact does that have on customer expansion? What impact does that have on making better, more insightful decisions? So yeah, you're right. I feel like we have probably the most powerful innovation and technological revolution in you or my lifetime. And we're using it like a kindergarten toy.
We are. I think that's a great analogy. I think that's a fabulous analogy. And so what can marketers do? Let's see if we can kind of tease out a few steps for them. And I like the idea of thinking about the power of AI and what are the questions that you're not asking that you should be asking so that you can go find out what you can do better. So why don't we think about the questions? And you started with a pretty good list of those, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, so just some of the basics, right? I mean, every marketer can spout off their ICP and their personas and who they go after. So let's validate that. Hey, run an audit, show me my deals for the last 2 years and how many of these are in our ICP.
That's a fabulous idea. That's a fabulous idea. How easy is that? That can be done in like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Right. 30 seconds. Right.
Yeah. And then, okay. Then go deeper, have a conversation with it. Oh, okay. So it's interesting. So 25% aren't in our ICP. What industry verticals are they? How many of these deals have we done repetitive? Of those deals that aren't in our ICP, what marketing campaigns did we run against them? What did we not? So then the marketer can start to understand, hey, we have this whole segment over here that we've been ignoring that clearly is doing well for us.
So Jeff, maybe before you do that, maybe you can give a little explanation of how you connect like a ChatGPT into your CRM.
Yeah, well, I mean, any of the main CRMs now, Salesforce, certainly HubSpot, Microsoft, all have MCP connections and standard connectors. So,
and I would also imagine they're building that in as well.
They are, of course, and obviously, ideally, and they are also licensing connectors inside their platform. So you could use Claude or ChatGPT inside, and they have their own chat interface. But you basically set up a secure connector. You would each LM is slightly different, but basically you log in. You might need to set up one-time API token inside the platform, but you connect. Literally, this takes 30 seconds, and then once you're connected, your LLM is securely reading your deals, your contacts, your accounts, your opportunities, etc. And then you can ask natural questions. So instead of you and me trying to putz around, going through the application, trying to figure out how to run the report and slice it and dice it, you could just say, well, give it to me this way. Well, what about this? What about that? And then the LLM will just go find it and bring it back. Once you set it up, and then you can continue to iterate on it, and it becomes this living window into your data.
Okay, so let's go back to our questions. And so, once you're connected, and you can get incredible analytics from that you were never able to get before from any other place. Let's face it. Check your ICP. What a great idea. Go in and take a look at the deals that closed, and maybe you could even do it by the most profitable deals, right? So imagine that if all your leads were all geared toward the most profitable deals that you do, not just any deal that you do. So you can ask questions around the ICP, what's closing, and then from there you can say, what kind of campaigns would be most effective for this audience. You can change your ICP. You could have an always on ICP. Take that into the boardroom and have a conversation with that. And how interesting is that?
So I rolled out today in our pipeline meeting a widget for all of us to use for account planning. And we could see in real time, okay, here's all of our clients. Here's the ones that are at risk. These are the ones that are supposed to have a renewal deal. These are the ones that haven't done this, right? Like, how are we doing plan to goal?
You didn't get that from our Salesforce instance. You got it from a widget.
Well, the widget read it from our CRM instance.
No, I know. That's my point.
Presented in a way that's more digestible.
Right.
And I didn't have to spend hours building out different reports and dashboards, which normally you have to toggle back and forth and you have to set it up. And now, but what's cool about it is, okay, Bob, is this accurate? No, that's Mary's account. Oh no, my goal for this year was this. Oh, here's this. Okay, tell Claude, okay, change Bob to Mary. Okay, this goal was this. Boom. Okay, and then the dashboard updates in real time and it updates the information back in HubSpot. So it became this real-time collaborator, but it has so much rich intelligence that we could just keep going back and forth and complete with red lights, yellow lights, green lights. Okay, this is what you have to pay attention to. And today was just really trying it on for size, but even today it was providing intelligence. It was giving us information, insight that we may or may did not know, or maybe it was tucked in the back, but now it's front and center. And of course it is our pipeline meeting. So
it's based on data, not Yeah, exactly. It's based on data. It's
based
based
on
on
data and holding
real.
everyone accountable.
Yeah,
And look, even if the data is bad, we can see that the data is bad, and then we can fix it in real time.
exactly.
Get better.
Exactly. Exactly.
So this is
Exactly.
one, and we're not even getting into workflows. All we're talking about here is putting a window, an
Mhm.
AI window against your data. That's
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Exactly. So as a marketing organization, I guess kind of the theme is ask different questions of what AI might be able to do for you. Just get wild and crazy with it, right? But there's just so many very, very simple things that we can do. And we've all learned enough about AI by now where we should be able to ask these outside the box questions. And again, get off that train of doing more with less, cheaper, and faster. And let's start talking about quality and impact. And because that's how you get the chain to revenue, taking those kinds of actions.
You want a different answer. Ask a question. I was just thinking,
Exactly.
and you have adult children too, and for years, Sheree and I would wonder, like, sometimes our conversations are stifled with our kids. Why? Probably because we keep asking the same questions and are conditioned to respond. How was
That's
your
right.
day?
That's right. That's
Did you
right.
go to the gym? Are you dating anybody?
Okay.
Do you have a
Okay.
job? Blah, blah, blah. What
Mhm.
kind of grades did you get in school? And the kids are
Mhm.
just, they're on autopilot.
Right.
So you're not going to have a quality conversation because you're not really,
You're in a rut.
you're in a rut and you're asking things that you probably already know the answer to and that either they
Exactly.
don't know the answer. So, but when you change it up,
Yeah.
tell me something interesting you did today. What's the challenge that you had this week that you overcome? Well, that's a different
Right.
question. It makes the kids stop and think, oh, okay. So now you're going to have a different
That's
conversation.
that's exactly right.
It's no different with AI and your data,
It
right?
is because again, we get into ruts in how we think about our business, how we think about marketing, we think about what marketing should be doing. So by asking these very, very different questions, you soon learn that you have so much power at your fingertips to make an impact. And then for your organization, what is the one, two, three highest ranked things that you can do to not just make an impact on efficiency, but also to make that impact on quality and also make that impact on revenue. So, what are the kinds of questions, Jeff?
So, I mean, that was just one example on
Yep.
ICP. Um, well, I always want to know certainly how my campaigns are doing, right?
Mhm.
How's my media spend doing? Um, is my organic traffic up or down? How am I doing with AEO? Am I seeing a correlation between a higher AEO score and higher quality traffic? What's our pipeline conversion rate?
Yep.
How am
Or,
I doing
or,
budget versus actual?
yeah. I mean, and those are all good metrics to track, right? But again, that's assuming you already know, and you do, you know what metrics you need to track. But you could even go into, once you have it connected to your CRM, and you could take a look at it and say, take a look at how we're closing deals and what should we be doing different in marketing? How could we make a more significant impact? Where in the sales cycle can we be making the most impact? So you could ask it questions like that to begin a whole new series of thoughts as
Yeah, even
well.
with the same MQL, assuming you're still doing that, which unfortunately a lot of companies are. Okay, I know what my overall MQL to SQL conversion rate is, but what's the variability by rep? Why are my MQLs being rejected? Of the ones that are being accepted, why? What ICPs are they in? Should I have to change this differently? Of the
Mhm.
ones that are accepted, what are the most common marketing activities? Or do I have more than one contact associated with it? Like,
Mhm.
start thinking more intelligently, like have a conversation, and where, because the AI is capable of giving you a multi-layered, richer answer if you're willing to ask it.
To
But you
ask the
ask a
question,
basic question,
absolutely.
you're going to get a basic answer.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And there is an art to the question for sure. And that's why going broader. What am I missing? What should I be thinking about? And then zeroing in on your current business and how that is run. And I love those questions around the MQLs because that is the bane of every marketer's existence. So maybe the place that you start very simply could be taking a look at the ICP for closed deals and just taking a look at what the hell is happening with MQLs, which is where you spend probably 80% of your effort for many organizations.
Yeah, and if you think about what you and I have taught our team for years on their communication skills and how to ask better questions, and use the so what technique, right, to drill down. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you can do the same thing with your AI. Okay, so what was our pipeline contribution last quarter? 37%. So what? See what the
Mm-hmm.
AI does.
Mm-hmm.
So that was 17% over Q1. So what? Oh, so you're trending, and I mean, keep
Mm-hmm.
going and seeing what it will give you.
Mm-hmm.
Interact with it. Don't just take
Interact with it. That's you have a friend. Let's put it
it.
this
You
way.
do.
You
Yeah.
you have a friend. You have a very, very, very smart friend who is right there with you on your computer every single day, who is just looking to interact with you and to help you grow your business. And
That
it's a
doesn't
very
judge.
this
That
is
doesn't
actually
gossip. That at least
yeah.
we don't think so anyway.
Yeah, this is kind of like I told you guys I love sci-fi. One of my favorite series is Expeditionary Force. Yes, it's 15 books long, but they're just freaking incredible. And one of the coolest things about it is there's an AI called Skippy, who is like a world-saving smart ass. He's really got a little snarky, smart ass, funny and your AI is like that. It's unbelievable the things that AI could be doing for your business if you're asking the right questions and if you are looking at the right areas of your business for AI. So, walk away from efficiency, walk away from faster and cheaper, and spend some cycle times thinking about quality and growth impact. Because again, the tool is right here for you. I remember when this is a while ago, but when I was working on my dissertation, whenever you do a dissertation, you have to have a problem and there has to be a gap that you're trying to solve.
Mhm.
And it all has to be based on the literature. Nobody cared what Debbie Qaqish was thinking about revenue marketing at the time, right? And I remember the problem that I identified was that only about 30% of CMOs were actually accountable for any kind of revenue, and probably half of that was suspect. And I was so afraid in the 3 years it took me to write my dissertation that that gap would close. Oh, hell no, it hasn't closed at all. It's probably about the same place it was before.
I
So
remember you
again,
and I talking about that. You were
oh
worried
yeah, oh
because
yeah, I
you
was so
thought for
afraid.
sure that the market was gonna correct itself before you were going to be able to defend your
Exactly.
law.
And
You probably could have got 2 more doctorates on the
I
same
probably got,
subject.
two more doctors out of it. And so one of the things that we have to do as marketers is use this stuff in a revenue oriented way. I mean, I remember, Eloqua in 2004. Jeff was working at Eloqua. I bought Eloqua, and I could just see we were so excited about the future of marketing and the impact on revenue from that. And that was way back in 2004. And here we are in 2026. And the fact that we still have CMOs who don't have that board level credibility because they can't make a credible, believable impact on revenue, it's just kind of ridiculous. And so through all of that technology growth that we've had, we haven't seen the move that we would like to see, but AI is the chance for a CMO or a leadership team in marketing that thinks beyond the day, that thinks beyond the execution. And you guys have heard us talk about it before. Your execution layer is going away, right? And as a CMO or as a marketing leader, you have to become a different kind of leader. And it's going to be this kind of thinking, these kinds of new questions that you can ask about your business, because now you can get answers to all of those things.
Take that next step. So if you are already using AI to help you execute, great. Now, what's next after? Okay, so AI is executing. What do I want my team to be doing differently?
Mhm.
Where should I reallocate their skills and their talent? How do I get better yield? How do I open up new markets? What is the data telling me? What is the data not telling me?
Right. I also think that AI really, it should be forcing sales and marketing to work closer together. Unfortunately, it is not forcing them to work closer together. It's actually helping them stay further apart because they're all slamming in their own AI widgets to do this, that, and another, right?
Sales is adding qualified or, one mind, and marketing is doing a bunch of stuff. And
Yeah.
it's Groundhog Day. Oh, we'll buy more AI now instead of the other.
It is. Yeah.
And you're still not, I mean, think about what you and I even learned about using AI, even in our own partnership, right? Because, we always joke we're like brother and sister and we collaborate
Yep.
well, but there are times we can get passionate and we see past each other, and we figured out like a year ago, oh shit, if we both input our ideas and thoughts into Claude or ChatGPT and it does analysis, all right, well, here's what Debbie's right about, here's what Jeff's right about.
Yeah,
You guys
exactly.
like, okay.
Yep.
And so we produced even much more together because we spent last time misunderstanding, right? And more time collaborating and brainstorming. I think the same opportunity exists for sales and marketing.
I would agree. But if you don't have that common AI governance happening in an organization, and we don't see that as much as we should, not like to any degree. Again, you've got marketing buying all this stuff, and you've got sales buying all this stuff, and I actually think that the sales and marketing alignment has gotten worse in this first stage of AI, not actually better, which makes it more difficult for a marketing organization to show a credible, real impact on revenue.
Yeah, and isn't it interesting that even now, even in the age of AI, sales, other than its existing pressure to drive quota, of course, still doesn't face any downward pressure on its overall budget, but marketing continues to be under attack.
Right.
Really fascinating that AI still cannot change fundamental human behavior.
It can't.
Rigid ways of thinking about how the company needs to run and operate. I mean, it's my
and we've talked about this before. It's a new leadership model for CMOs going into the age of AI, because again, so many CMOs have been consumed with execution, not strategy, not critical thinking, not thinking differently, not embracing change, leading change, not just responding to change. And so I do think, again, and we've talked about that before, new leadership models for everybody who's in this world of AI, actually, because you just become something different and it requires something different. And at the end of the day, it does come back down to human beings and what they do and how they think.
And I think until you're willing to think differently, act differently, you're going to be just disappointed that much faster with AI.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. What's the definition of crazy, right?
Yeah, doing it same thing over and over again. So hopefully next week when we get together, it won't be Groundhog Day again, and we can,
But anyway, but a great topic. Very, very good food for thought. What questions are you asking to most effectively run your business? And are you embracing AI the best possible ways, not the first way?
Yes. So go ask those questions.
Yeah. And let us know.
Until next time.
All right. See you later. Bye, Jeff.
Bye, Deb.